Okay.
Said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway of Life. Today I want to give you a bit of an explanation as to why I keep saying there's going to be a guest and there isn't. Is because I just got a text today that Ricardo Morales is so busy with everything that he's got, he needs to change the schedule of when he can do shows. So we're going to have to tape the shows and bring them to you at a different time, or I'm going to have to do something as far as production goes for that. I'm not going to continue to tell folks there's going to be a show and there isn't. So, I'm not going to tell you there's going to be a guest on the show and there isn't. I'm just giving you a little explanation of why that's not happening when it does. But I'll get him on eventually. But today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about agencies and commitment. Whatever you're doing, you need to have the right people to do it. And with the right people, having the right people is, no matter where you are or what you're doing, if you got the right people to do the job, and dedicated people doing the job, that's basically all you need is the right people to do the job. And UCP of Western Mass has been the right agency for me for many years. And they have just proven it again by continuing to support me as far as PCA role, as far as doing the PCA, taking care of me as if they're a PCA. Um, 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 so they've been doing double duty by being PCAs, even though they don't have to be PCAs. The office has been supporting in a much appreciated way of people from the office have been coming in to do the PCA role. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the family atmosphere of UCP. As a result, I will be having more guests on in the future from UCP to talk about their agency and what they do for me and for other people, and some of the equipment they have and how they make people's lives as independent as they can to give people the most independence they can and that they deserve to have. And I really appreciate all their support. And if anybody wants to go visit the office or go talk to anybody, UCB at Western Mass is the place to go. As far as I'm concerned, no other, not that other agencies are bad, but my experience is no other agency quite like UCP and the personal dedication they take to do the job that is required. They basically do anything they have to do for the individuals and for me. But along with that, it's proven to me that some of my situations that I deal with, they're teaching me how to get around some of the issues with getting people to do what they need to do and making sure the staff that are able to do the job and still maintaining my human rights as far as what I want to do and how I want to do them. Keeping in mind that we're all human beings, we all make mistakes. But I think if anything is true with me and most of the people from agencies like UCP, as far as knowing I was disabled, you wouldn't know it to talk to me, but the only way you could tell is by my voice and the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. But as far as intelligence level, and as far as the amount of independence I have due to the support of the agency that I have, you'd never be able to tell that I have my disability does not define me, is what I'm trying to say. It basically has enhanced my life over the last, as of tomorrow, 48 years. I have had nothing but I'm as successful as I let myself be. And like I keep saying, and I'm not floating my own boat here, but I'm not trying to float my own boat and say I'm the greatest person in the world. Believe me, I'm not. But somebody that can go through 15 or 16 surgeries, have cancer in the past. I don't have cancer now, but the fact that I did have cancer and still maintain a local TV show, 2 local TV shows, and do everything I'm doing. And if I can do it, anybody can do it, and anybody is more than willing, more than welcome to talk to me and see that it's all in the determination of what you want to do and how you want to do it. It's not a case of everything is going to be handed to you, but it's going to be a hard road. But if you work hard enough and you do what you need to do to be successful, it can be a good quality life. And with the support of agencies like UCP and AdLab with PCA program and other agencies like UCP, we can have normal, quote unquote, normal everyday life and everyday situations that happen. But if you sit there and you say, oh, I feel sorry for myself because I don't go outside as much or I don't do this, you can't. You won't get anywhere if you put yourself in a state of mind where your thought process is your worst enemy at times. And to be quite frank with you, the thought process can be a disability in itself. And sometimes it's chemical, and sometimes it's psychological to the point where what you're saying to yourself is going to put you in a state where you can't do anything for yourself. And obviously there are reasons why people have disabilities and people have different situations. I'm not saying this is how it is for everybody, but sometimes what you say to yourself is more of a disability than any physical disability you may or may not have. And what other people say to you could contribute to having more of a disability than anything. When we come back, I'll explain more and give you some more information about what I'm planning on doing in the future. And we'll be right back, folks. We will be right back as soon as we...
I have a maker. He formed my heart before even time began. My life was in his hand. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. I have a Father. He calls me his own. He'll never leave me, no matter where I go. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. You hear me when I call. He hears me when I call.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway of Life. And what I was talking about before is having agencies and the right people in the agencies do the job. And it's not so much what the agency does for you. It's the people the agency has working for them. It's more along the lines of what I'm talking about, and more along the lines of if you've got the right people doing the job, then you get what you desire out of that agency. And depending on what agency you're working with. Now, as I said before, the agency's only as good as the people in the agency. And what can be done is up to the imagination of the people working with the agency and working for the agency. I'm not saying all agencies are bad, but this is my opinion, my take on how things go. If the agency, in my opinion, is working well, you don't have to see the agency. Except for once in a while. As of right now, I have more support with my agency right now because I'm in the middle of staffing situations, but on a given week, a good agency only see, in my opinion, a good agency only see once a week. But again, like I said, every situation is different. Every individual is different. So I'm not saying every, but the object that I'm talking about today is when you're looking for an agency, the biggest thing you want to look for is people that care about the job. And the sacrifice and the dedication, even when you don't ask them to do something, they'll step in and help anyway. And in my opinion, UCP is the best one for that at this point, and that I have had my 48 years of experience. UCP is the best. UCP of Western Mass is the best agency that I have seen. Like I said, for somebody like me, with all the supports I need, the UCP is the best one to be dealing with. But all agencies are good for certain things, but when you're shopping for an agency, that's what you need to do, and make sure the client is being served at the best of their ability, and just dealing with how they interact with the client and what they can offer you. And like I said, it's very rare that you're gonna hear me say everything does not go according to plan all the time, but when there's a challenge, you can't be, oh my God, I can't do this. The comment should be from me is, this is a challenge. How are we gonna do this, instead of, are we gonna be able to do this? It's how are we gonna be able to do this? Now, some of the challenges I have, I can't overcome, but most of the challenges that I have, there's a way around it so that I can feel like I'm a part of society and part of making a difference in people's lives. And having a show like this, and to be honest, be able to be honest and truthful and tell you life is not always easy all the time. It's not peaches and cream all the time. Peaches and cream with cherries on top. Because it's not. It's downright difficult, and as many people know, very unfair with situations. But I don't care how fair situations are or unfair situations are. If you gotta go through them, if God gives you the ability to go through them, you do not want to go through them. You will never be alone. But when you got people on your side, like UCP, and I'd say even Pittsfield Community Television, with their support as far as what they do for me every week and allow me to come on and put on a show like this, where sometimes I just come on and tell you things like this and tell you how good of a support system I have in Berkshire County. And although I talk about moving all the time and situations could be better in other places, but right now I don't think I'm going anywhere, and that could be a benefit to you guys. That could be a benefit, or that could be looked at as a benefit. But right now, I'm gonna take it as a sign from God. When it's time for me to move on, I will. But right now, I'm sitting at a point where I can do everything I need to do, and even when people don't agree, I'm finally getting to the point at 48 years old that I'm making my own decisions, even though people may not agree with those situations. Now, one of the things I want to do, I want to get people's opinions, and don't be afraid to email me on this. I'm thinking about in the future doing a town hall type meeting with the mayor, people from Department of Public Works, and agencies like that, so that when people have concerns, or if people have concerns, they can bring them out at that point. Now, what I need you guys to do is give me some ideas before I put this all together and see if you want it. Send me an email with your concerns and your questions, and either depending on how many we get, I'm going to set up a town hall meeting at possibly the library or somewhere like that, so we can get the answers from the people that you're asking the questions from, you can email me at wheelingthepathwaysoflife@gmail.com. That's wheelingthepathways@gmail.com. And just tell me, you don't have to tell me the whole story, but give me enough and give me possibly some contact information so I can either have you on the show or include you and figure out what actually the question is, because some people may have questions but don't know how to ask it, and depending on what it is, I can help you with that question and with that question and figure out what the best way to ask the question and present it to the people. To the prospective person you want to talk to. As you know, I can't come up with the answers all the time, but I can try to get you the people that can. And I'm not gonna say when, but I am trying to get in contact with Congressman Neal's office to have him on the show and talk about some adaptations to some laws that I think need to be fixed. And one of those laws is anybody with a communication device that is voice synthesized and has to be inputted by someone else. Okay? Someone else has to take what you told them or what they think you're telling them, and that one of the things is that kind of stuff can't be used in court. Like, if you unfortunately get assaulted and you use a communication device like a computer to talk, and people have to input what you're saying so that you can be understood by way of computer, that is not admissible in court because it's coming technically from someone else. It's not coming from you. So I'm gonna ask him if there's a way we can put something together so maybe we can fix that. So even though people have a communication device, their opinions and their desires and their complaints can be taken seriously other than pushed to the wayside because they have a communication device and it can't be the testimony of the person with the communication device cannot be used in court because it can't be verified. Now, there's got to be a way we can verify it, and I'm going to find out if there's something we can do with the law that as it is, or change the law so we can have the conversation from victims and people with disabilities confirmed and verified that that's what the person is actually saying versus the person that's inputting the information. I think something can be done, but I'm gonna look into it and make sure that I do it the right way. But I am saying, and I know we're all over the place today, but I am saying this show is for you, and I'm working for people with disabilities, but I'm also doing something very, very, very much needed. I'm also doing what I'm supposed to be doing by helping people. I'm also doing what many, many years ago, 3,000 years ago, I don't know when, I know God walked on this earth, but however many years ago he walked on this earth, he basically did not do what I'm doing per se, but he is kind of doing what I'm doing as far as being out there, not for myself, but for other people as well. And what I want people to do is you guys should feel free by now to contact me and tell me what you need, even if it's controversial, even if I don't know how to say it, or what to do with the information. I know who to talk to, but I don't know what you want. I can pass off the information, and the person that you need can get back to you. Or if you ask me a question that Ricardo needs to answer, I can pass it off to him, or ask him at a later time of what the question is, and record what he says and have it on the air. Personally give you the information that he gives me. Personally give that to you directly. We all need to work together as a team to make this world a better place. A better place. We all have challenges. It's not what challenges we have and how bad the challenges are. It's how we get through them together. I think that a lot of disabled people are discounted because our bodies don't work, and our bodies look weird, so automatically we're retarded, or we're retarded, or politically correct, mentally challenged, and it is a challenge, but mental, I mean, retarded was the wrong word, but mentally challenged and the only mentally challenged person that I met is someone who talks to me and doesn't understand after after 10 minutes talking to me that yes, I may have a physical disability, but I'm not mentally challenged. I'm physically challenged, not mentally. There is a problem with my brain, but there's no problem with me being able to figure out what's going on around me, or figuring out somebody's trying to take advantage of me, or whatever. The biggest thing that people take advantage of, and they don't give people the ways to show them, is they don't give them the ability to show them that we have we can, and we do have the intelligence to hold the conversation and to become a rational person and have rational discussions and be the way that we are to make ourselves understood and get what we want to get across to people. No matter how much trouble I have getting information out there, the information is still important and it needs to be said. It may take me an extra 15 minutes to tell you everything, but at least the information is getting out there. And if I can't get it out there, I know people that can, and I will get them on the show and ask them to explain certain situations for me, because I learn just as much as you do by doing this show every week. So what I need is the support of people telling me what they need and telling me what they like to see on the show. So if you have any suggestions or anything you want to see on the show, contact me at wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com. That's wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com. I think that people, we can all work together and use this platform and many other platforms for good instead of all the other stuff that's going on in the country today and all the political stuff that's going on. At the end of the day, I feel like It's what I'm doing today, and it's what you can do today as individuals that will actually count to make this world a better place than it would be to say, look how much money I'm spending, or look at me, I'm the greatest person in the world because I'm in the White House, or there are people in government that are great, and there are people in government that are not looking for recognition for who they are, but it's the people that are working every day and doing what I'm doing that I feel are gonna make the biggest difference in life. Yes, they will make things better. And government is a great thing, and they help with disabilities. But if the government knew what we are capable of doing, I think things would be a lot different than they are today as far as what we're allowed to do. If government actually came out and saw what we were capable of doing as disabled individuals, we wouldn't have to justify for services like we do at the current situation. I like the story that Matthew Tucker gave me one time on the show recently. He says, his daughter was getting a new chair, and they even had to take pictures to show that the family was capable of handling the chair. In my opinion, now there are cases where this isn't true, but if the families and the doctors agree that the chair is needed for the patient, that should be enough to justify to people that, there should not be any question as long as there's a documentation that the doctor agrees and the therapist sees that there's a need. Basically, I find that almost insulting that the insurance companies don't deal with the families as they do, and don't understand that the families deal with this stuff every day, like moving people and getting people where they need to go. Give them the tools they ask for to make their life as easier as possible, easy as possible, or as less complicated as possible. Now, if that requires a few phone calls from the insurance company to find out information rather than just saying, we don't think you can handle this, then you need to do it. we should not have to jump through 6 months of paperwork because I understand that the insurance company doesn't want to spend money, but it's not the insurance companies that are the problem. It's the providers of the services that have the problem, because if the providers don't jack up the prices, they don't get paid as much, and they want the money, and money is brutal. Money is important, but the interesting thing is the money wouldn't be such a big issue if the people were able to conduct themselves in society the way they should. They'd make the money back in a heartbeat if the clients were able to do what they need to do to make it worthwhile. And people who are in the business, if you do a good thing for people, you get more business. But if you do a bad thing or give people a hard time about getting services, in my opinion, you're going to lose business instead of gain business. That's just a general rule. If you come up with a bad attitude, people aren't going to want to work with you. If you make it too difficult for people to get services, people aren't going to try to get the services. And therefore, you're going to have a bigger problem than you do now, because people are going to need services, but they don't want to get them because of the politics of the whole thing. So that's my take on government. Government's outlook on things is like, we need to know about this. We need to make things more difficult. In some cases you do. In some cases you need to make it much easier. And you need to just ask the right questions from the right people. And the people that are needing the services, you need to ask, you need to make a few phone calls. You need to talk to people like me. You need to talk to the people that are actually receiving the services, not necessarily the caregivers, but the people that are actually receiving the services, and listen to what they need and listen to what they want. So the whole purpose of this is to make people better members of society, not make it more difficult for people to do things in society. So, with that, folks, I'm going to finish up by saying thank you again for another year. And I again want to ask you to please contact me with any suggestions or any comments or anything like that that you want to hear. There are some things coming down the pike as far as conversations, as far as what I want to talk about and hard questions that I want to ask the city, and hard questions that I'm going to pose to people that they may not have popular answers for, but I'd rather hear the truth than just the typical, well, we're gonna have to investigate this. In that sense, it's a cop-out. And I am gonna stand firm. I will do everything I can to get you the answers you need to help society be the best it can be, and to give you, the disabled community and the community as a whole, the most independence they can have. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at wheelingthepathwaysoflife@gmail.com. And as I've said, this is a pleasure to do every week. This gives you some knowledge of who I am and knowledge of what I go through. But I don't do this alone. And to show that I go through some of the same things you go through, you need to communicate with me to let me know what you need and what you want. And as far as the disabled community and in general, I am not a bad guy. I am here for you. And the reason why I'm here on this earth is so I can help people be the best they can be, and in the process, educate and try to make this life as meaningful and less challenging and more along the lines of let's work together and make this life as good as it can be, and do what we can do to help other people be as successful as they want to be, and live to their full potential as far as what their potential is supposed to be, not the potential of what other people want for them. With that, folks, this has been Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway of Life. As I said, folks, without you, and I am here for you, so anything you need, just let me know, and I will try to come up with some of the best shows and the best answers I can. But with that, folks, we will be back next week, and have a good afternoon, folks. And please let me know if you need anything. Contact me at wheelingthepathwaysoflife@gmail.com. Have a good afternoon.
Said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on.